With the big, beautiful bill on the verge of becoming law, many seniors are speaking out, worried about their Social Security, Medicare, and taxes, and desperate to have their concerns finally heard. So in this video, we're focusing on exactly that. What are our fellow Americans actually saying? We've gone through hundreds of comments, including ones from our very own viewers here on the channel and others we found online. These are real reactions from real people, some supportive, some upset, some just try to understand what's really going on. I'll be reading these comments in full, responding to each one with context, analysis, and perspective. Whether you're retired, still working, or just trying to figure out what this bill means for your future, this is the conversation happening right now, and you deserve to be part of it. Let's start with this comment. Speaking for millions of people, please don't allow the big, beautiful bill to pass. It will mean cuts to our healthcare and cuts to food stamps. This is what keeps us alive. Do you not care about senior citizens? Do you not care about our children or the disabled? Is this what the man that you claim is your savior, the Son of God, Jesus calls you to do? We don't think that you can claim to be Christians and pass this bill at the same time. This one really hits hard. You can feel the desperation in those words. It's not just about politics, it's about survival. Healthcare and food support aren't luxuries for many older Americans. They're lifelines. And when people start connecting these policies to their faith, their values, and their sense of justice, you know it's deeper than just a policy disagreement. For many seniors, this isn't about party lines. It's about whether they can afford to eat, see a doctor, or take care of their families. Now here's another. People think this is only gutting Medicaid. It's bleeping up the whole marketplace. Example, if you're a 60-year-old couple and make $80,000 a year and get insurance on the marketplace, your premiums are about to go up 400% and cost $26,000 more. Millions and millions of people about to no longer have access to health care. This one stood out for how blunt it is. And while the language is sharp, the concern is very real. Let's break it down. If you're around 60, not yet eligible for Medicare, and earning too much for Medicaid, but not enough to comfortably pay for private insurance, then the marketplace is your main option. According to what we've read in the Senate version of the bill, ACA subsidies, especially those expanded under recent legislation, could be scaled back. And when those subsidies shrink or vanish, premiums rise fast. The idea of a couple paying $20,000 to $26,000 a year isn't far-fetched in that scenario. Insurers base their rates on the size of subsidies and the risk pool. If fewer people can afford to buy in, or if protections are loosened, prices go up, especially for older buyers who already face higher base premiums. So when this commenter says the whole marketplace could be destabilized, that's not just exaggeration. It's a warning. This comment may use bold language, but the fear behind it reflects a very real vulnerability, one that a lot of older Americans are feeling right now. Here's another powerful one. What worries a lot of us is our Social Security checks. None of us needs our Social Security checks cut, because it is a lot of our living from paycheck to paycheck just to pay our bills. That's what worries me. We all need our whole Social Security check to make ends meet, and Medicare is the only way we got to be able to go to our doctors, and we really and truly need our Medicare and Medicaid. That's a raw, emotional expression of what so many are feeling. If you're retired or close to it, you know how tight things can get. Social Security isn't extra cash. It's rent, groceries, electricity. And Medicare? It's the only thing keeping a lot of folks out of medical debt. This comment speaks to the anxiety that's growing across the country, especially in communities that don't have a financial cushion. This isn't paranoia. It's lived reality. Next up, we have this comment. I support President Trump, and I support the big, beautiful bill. However, I want to see a bill that says no tax on Social Security and a possible increase for the senior citizens. I haven't read the big, beautiful bill, but some people are saying that the tax cut for the middle class is only until 2028 and the wealthy will benefit forever from this new bill. I do appreciate all President Trump has done and supported him even before he won the election. I would like to see more for the elderly, for retirees. God bless America. This is one of those thoughtful, measured responses. They're supportive of the president. They believe in the bill's intent, but they're still asking hard questions. And that's good. That's what democracy is supposed to be. They're not anti-anything. They just want to know, where's the clear help for seniors? Is it fair that tax cuts for the middle class might sunset, while benefits for the wealthy become permanent? Those are fair concerns, and it shows that support doesn't mean blind approval. People want results that include them, not just promises. Now take a look at this. Baloney. The $4,000 deduction was bait and switch from a promise made, but not kept. No tax on SSN without conditions could be passed this week. Any politician that votes against it will feel the wrath of senior voters. Republicans knew about the bride rule all during the election, but went on TV and lied. A standalone bill could be voted on weekly until it passes. Life choices could be a real bleep. I worked 50+ hours a week for 50 years. We shouldn't be taxed on SSN benefits, period. It is double taxation. That one came in swinging, and honestly, a lot of people feel the same way. The promise of no tax on Social Security was loud and clear. So when it turns into a limited deduction with strings attached, it absolutely feels like a bait and switch. And the bird rule they mentioned? That's a Senate rule that blocks certain policies, like full Social Security tax repeal, from being included in budget bills unless they meet strict criteria. Lawmakers knew this ahead of time and still made promises they couldn't legally deliver on in this kind of bill. That's where the frustration deepens. People feel misled. As for double taxation, if you worked 50 hours a week for 50 years and paid into the system the whole time, it's hard not to feel like you're being taxed twice. That money came out of your paycheck for decades. Now you're finally getting it back, and it's being taxed again if your income is over a certain threshold. It feels unfair. And for seniors living on fixed incomes, that second hit can mean the difference between getting by and going without. Let's look at this next one. I don't understand the logic in the tip scenario where an individual can make up to $150,000 before losing the benefit of $25,000 tax-free tips. But the $6,000 exemption for seniors starts to phase out at $75,000. Just like that younger person, I have a mortgage, insurance, property taxes, maintenance expenses on my home, food to buy, health insurance, / Medicare premiums, etc. That's a really sharp observation. Why do high earners get such a generous window, while seniors' deductions start disappearing much earlier? This is exactly the kind of thing that seems small on paper, but feels huge in real life. If you're retired and trying to stretch every dollar, you know what it means when $6,000 in deductions vanishes. Meanwhile, someone with twice your income gets a $25,000 cushion. Is that really fair? Now, this one is intense. Seniors and children are going to suffer from this bill. The next decade is going to be devastating in America. It's not a beautiful bill. It's the end of America. The bill does not help Americans. The emotion here is real. It might sound dramatic, but that's what fear does when people feel cornered. It's frustration boiling over. And even if the facts are debatable, the feeling behind it is very real. A lot of people feel like their lives are being shaped by laws made by people who don't understand what it's like to live on a tight income. And sometimes it just feels like shouting is the only way to be heard. This next one takes a longer view. I was in my senior year of high school when the USA crossed the $1 trillion mark. 44 years to add $38 trillion in deficit spending / overspending. And now the rate exceeds $2 trillion per year. Even in the big, beautiful bill, that's the voice of someone who's been paying attention for a long time. This isn't a new concern for them. It's decades of frustration building up. And if you're in that same generation, you probably remember when $1 trillion felt like an impossible number. Now, we're spending $2 trillion a year. For folks who lived through multiple recessions, debt spikes, and policy swings, this comment speaks to that long-term fatigue. People want stability. They want to see the needle move in the right direction. Next, we have this. Myth: the one big, beautiful bill cuts Medicare. Fact: Medicare has not been touched in this bill. Absolutely nothing in the bill reduces spending on Medicare benefits. This legislation does not make a single cut to welfare programs. It safeguards and protects these programs for all eligible Americans. This is an important one because facts do matter. And technically, it's true. There are no direct Medicare cuts written into this version of the bill. But what people are reacting to is the fear of indirect effects, cost shifting, delays, or other provisions that might affect how benefits are delivered. So while it's good to clarify that Medicare isn't being cut outright, we also have to understand why people still feel anxious. Because in the real world, even small policy changes can ripple into big effects. And lastly, people keep saying tax cuts. I'm a blue-collar worker. I'm not getting a tax cut. By June, all my forced overtime will be literally straight taxes. I won't even be getting paid more for it. I'm mad. That frustration is loud and clear, and it's one a lot of working-class Americans share. This isn't about party lines. It's about fairness. You put in the hours, sometimes forced overtime just to keep up, and by the time taxes take their cut, you feel like you're working for nothing extra. Now here's the deeper concern. The big beautiful bill doesn't just promise tax cuts. It also includes work requirements for government assistance, which could push more people into low-paying or unstable jobs to keep their benefits. So if you're already stretched thin and working overtime, it might feel like you're being punished for working harder, while still missing out on the tax relief others are celebrating. And overtime pay itself? It's taxed at the same rate as regular income, but when it pushes you into a higher bracket temporarily, it can feel like the system is squeezing every last cent. That anger is real. You're not imagining it. You're doing the right thing, showing up, working hard, and somehow still falling behind. So what does all this tell us? It shows that people are watching. They're paying attention. They're not just absorbing headlines. They're reading the details and speaking up. Seniors, especially, are sounding the alarm. And whether you agree or disagree with the bill itself, it's important to listen. Because every one of these comments came from real people trying to navigate an uncertain future. If you're retired, living on fixed income, or just trying to plan your next chapter, these voices matter. They reflect you. So now I want to hear from you. How are you feeling about the big, beautiful bill now that it's passed the Senate? Do any of these comments speak to your experience? Drop a comment below. I read everyone, and like always, your voice might be the one we feature next. Thanks for watching. There's more to come.